Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Forward with Forley. Today we're going to talk about a type of dog training called clicker training. Clicker training is becoming more and more popular with guide dog training schools around the world, and it's very effective for somebody who's visually impaired who wants to teach their dog to find a specific object on command. Now, what is clicker training? The simple definition is it is a behavior marking tool, and it's a communication strategy between yourself and your guide dog, and it's made up of a metallic clicker and kibble. So what you do is you would click and then give the dog a treat, and over time the dog would associate the clicking sound with the kibble. And the reason you do this and that you don't just give the dog a kibble every time they do something right is because if you did that, especially with a Labrador or a Golden Retriever, I mean any dog who's highly motivated by food, they would be spinning in circles, sitting, laying down, exhibiting any behavior to get a kibble. So having the clicker allows you to communicate with your dog and basically say, hey, great job, you heard this clicker, now you're getting a treat. So if you're considering a guide dog and you're looking at guide dog schools, you might ask them, what is their philosophy on clicker training? And you also might ask, how do they support their clients in teaching them how to use clicker training with their guide dogs? Many guide dogs schools do it, like I mentioned. Guide dogs for the blind, leader dogs for the blind, guiding eyes for the blind, the seeing eye, and others, Guide Dog Foundation. All of them do it in some way, shape, or form. Everybody has a slight variation on how it's performed, but it is definitely very effective. So in the video today, I'm going to demonstrate, first of all, how clicker training works on a very foundational level, and then I'm going to show you in real life what clicker training can do for a guide dog team. Now, it's really important to note that this video is a demonstration video. It is not a how-to video. This video should not teach you how to use clicker training. It should merely demonstrate the power of clicker training while giving you a little bit of background info into how clicker training works. If you want to use clicker training and you have a dog already, if you're a guide dog for the blind, consult your training manual. If you're from another school, consult your school's training department and ask for best practices for doing so. And with that, let's get started. So before I do my clicker training demonstration, I thought I would just show you really quick what the clicker looks like. So here it is in front of me, and this style is called a box clicker. You can get these at any pet retailers online, and it's just a little plastic box with a metal clicker inside. It's got a little stretchy wrist holder, so you can slide it over your wrist, which is kind of handy. And then this is the sound that the clicker makes. And Forley's probably going to go nuts in the other room where I have her. It sounds like this. Okay, it's pretty loud. You can get ones that are quieter. This one I think is really good, sort of all-purpose. I would definitely recommend this style. So if you just go and ask for a box clicker, most pet stores will have them. So the first thing we're going to demonstrate is the kind of foundational piece of this. How you tell the dog that clicker training is involved and what you want the dog to find. So we're going to start up by the door here, and I just have a piece of kibble in my pocket, soon to be in my hand, and I'm going to put it next to the door. And as soon as her nose touches it, I click. That tells her that this is a really good thing. Okay? Good girl. We'll do a couple of those just to get her warmed up. Okay, good. So now we can take literally a half step back, just arm's length away from the door. And we'll do it again. Still hand targeting. Kibble in hand. Good girl. She's getting the idea. She's done it a couple times. She knows what's going to happen. So, all right, let's proof it a little bit. Let's go a half step back. Pick up the handle. Good girl. She found the door. Okay? From like one step back. We can do that again. We want to be really consistent here. Good girl. Okay, so she's figuring it out. All right? So now the next step, you would continue doing this and you would really build it up. Now the next thing we're going to do is incorporate the command. Okay, and it can be whatever you want. The dogs don't care. Find the door, find the opening, whatever, inside, outside, whatever command you want to use. Just a little recommendation, find something that is kind of obvious for you and the dog, and something that's easy to say. You know, you don't have to say, find the wooden door in the middle of the block. Just say, find the door. Or you can just say, door. Okay? But whatever it is, you want to stick with it, be really consistent. So I'm going to kind of show you that next. So we practiced that, getting to the door. Now we're just going to find the door. Whoop, a little bit slow on the timing here. As you can see, timing is everything. Try it again. Ready? Find the door. Good girl. Good girl, Forley. And again, time is really everything. And if the dog doesn't do it right, don't click, ever, ever, ever. Just put the harness down, grab the leash, walk back to the starting point, start over. Or if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, just take a deep breath and try again. Okay, that was just a really quick demonstration of clicker training. Again, this is super basic, super foundational. It's not supposed to be a how-to, it's just supposed to be a demonstration. Now we're going to take this very powerful, very positive training method that I just showed you with a simple door behind me. And we're going to go out into the real world and put this to the test. Now there are several things spaced throughout the city that I live in that Forley can find, various objects. In this case here we used a door, but you can do it with anything. Bus stops, other types of poles, walk button poles, curbs, benches, doors, you name it. Whatever it is you want the dog to find, they will find it. So that's what we're going to do next, and we're going to show you her finding these things so you can see what clicker training can really do for a guide dog team. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is show you how Forley can find a pole. This is one we use relatively often, and it's important to note that after you clicker train the dog to find something, the clicker goes away and you just reinforce it with food. You don't have to keep clicking. So the clicker is simply just a bridge to go from teaching the dog to find something to actually having the dog find something. So it's just a training method. And after they found it, the clicker goes away and you just use food or verbal and physical praise. Forley, find the pole. Find the pole. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, now I'm going to show you a bench that Forley can find in one of my favorite parks in downtown. And she's very good at this. Now there's several benches in here, so she'll probably indicate that. The idea after a while is that they just show you a bench, so they'll actually generalize the same object, which is really cool. If you're in an unfamiliar area and there's a bench around, she'll find it. Find the bench. Find it. Good girl, Forley. Good girl. So that's a quick demonstration on the power of clicker training and what it can do for a guide dog team. As you can see, showed you a couple of different objects that Forley can find in the real world. There's hundreds more you could use. I mean, anything you want that's somewhat obvious the dog will find, or maybe not so obvious. You could have a row of doors in a hotel and your dog would pick your right room after a while if taught with clicker training. Feel free to share, comment, like, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.